people think that they can grab ideas from LLMs, and that is not true. The LLMs are not going to give you good ideas.
This is Ari. He's the design director who taught AI how to think like a creative. I'm Mika, and this is It's a Vibe.
What belief you had about AI that turned out to be a complete lie based on everything that you know today?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, well, at first, when I first touched AI, it was a lot of years ago, to be honest. And to me, it was like touching a lightning. You know, I thought this was good. This is going to be really big, which is true. It's changing the industry, but I thought it was going to be faster, the adoption. So right now, I guess that there is still some agencies, some people that are not using AI, that are not adopting the technology. So I thought that would going to be faster. That is the what I can say about it. It changes the industry entirely, but there are still people that are not using it, which is surprising.
Adoption for me is super interesting in AI specifically, how everything is changing so quickly. But you're a fellow design leader and in one of the most AI-driven creative companies out there. How you started with AI so many years ago, kind of being like front and center in what you were doing. If you had to explain to yourself 5 years ago what you do today, where would you begin?
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, how do I start? Because I guess that would be maybe impossible to explain to Ari from 5 years ago. What do I do today? But I kind of started 4 years ago with AI. So in 2021, what was happening to me, I was designing branding a lot with my studio, which is called Neo4 Studio. And at that point, we were really bored about stock photography. We didn't want to use stock, and we wanted to create this more of experimental branding design and more edgy. And we didn't have the resources to hire a 3D designer. So we started to think about ways of doing that ourselves, like tricking the 3D design without learning. So we were trying to test some tools, and then some colleague of mine just posted on social media. I think it was Twitter at that point. Something called DALI, right? So I started using that, and then we started using that on branding. But month before that, I would try to say that we were trying to experiment to be a little bit of researchers to find new ways of working. So I guess that my explanation could be like, I'm still finding new ways of work within AI, within technology, and within design, which is not far away from what I've been doing my whole career. I was always being a bit of a nerd, and I always liked new ways. And to be honest, I'm a bit lazy, so I always try to find like cheats or tricks to work faster. For example, when I was in college and in the university, I was like the Photoshop script guy, you know, like every one of my friends was like, hey, Ari, can you create like a Photoshop action for me? Because I don't know how, or like you are super good at it. So I was always trying to find efficiency, innovation with technology. And at that point was Adobe, then Figma or Adobe XD. And right now it's AI, but I kind of work the same. So finding new ways, faster ways of work.
I love that you said that you're a bit lazy because I understand that, but I think that laziness in productivity is amazing because you get to do so many things and you can create like different shortcuts to get where you want to go, right? So for me that's perfect. And Ari, I was wondering, like, everyone now is obsessed with learning all of these new tools out there, right? But I've noticed, and we talked about this in some time, I've noticed that no one is talking about mindset. What would you say is the mental shift that most creative agencies need to make when it comes to AI, especially how you see it? Because I know that you mentored a lot of people around this.
Yeah, that's right. I have mentored more than 500 creatives and also CPMs, sales teams, account teams, everyone, CEOs, founders. And the thing is that, like you say, there is new tools on a daily basis. Before I used to say like on a weekly basis you find new tools, but right now it's just we have I have a lot of researcher colleagues, and they send me message every day like this new or this AI tool has a new model, or Runway drop like a new model or a new feature, or Luma has this, or then it happened that, or then we got like Flora, which is a brand new AI tool, really cool one, or Weeby. So to me, the change of mindset is really necessary, and what we need to try to be or to change is to drop the former way of working that we knew from the very start to the end, and try to be more of a researcher. Like I said, to try to find time to research on stuff, but I will not aim for tools. I will aim for patterns. I will aim for trends, because if you look at some examples, and I just mentioned Flora and Weeby, right? So Flora and Weeby are two AI tools, but are different from all of the AI tools that we were used to use, because they are based on nodes, most related to ComfUI, but easier to use, better, with better interface and a better experience overall. So maybe you find Flora and say, okay, this is a really cool tool, but if you find the two of them and a few more that are out there, you say, okay, node-based tooling or AI tooling is something that is coming, or is just right here now, and is something that is going to be big. So that pattern is more important than the tool itself. And then, for example, when one of the most common questions that people ask me is, which is the best AI model to create images, for example, or to create videos, right? But again, you don't need to think about the tools, because models are going to catch up. You know that if one company has a model that is not the best out there, they will try to create or to do an update to make the model not the best, or just to catch up, or make it the best as well. So you need to thinking about the limitations of the models or the technology, to try to think what is possible with AI in an image, what is possible with AI and video, or AI and product design. So trends and patterns for me are way more important than chasing tools, because if you chase tools, it's just an endless fight. You know, you are going to be seeing 100 tools every day. You are going to be lost. So that change of mindset into a research type of designer, having a little bit of time to explore, to just having to and read a lot. I read like 3 hours a day minimum of AI news, and there is a lot of things that you can do also to automate those readings and those research, because right now with LLMs we have deep research as a tool. So I have on Tuesday and Fridays I have my deep research on AI news and AI tools.
That's
So
amazing.
I woke up and I just start reading. You know, that's the thing you need to do.
I really appreciate this difference of going for trends and patterns rather than tools. It is completely true. And also, like, how do you feel that goes into adoption? What I mean is, how do you see any blockers around people, creatives wanting to do, maybe doing this research, wanting to do this research and not being able to, using these tools, blockers with the trends, blockers with any of those things?
Yeah, I mean, there is the first blocker on adoption that we faced was that the people thought on AI as a threat, and it's the other way around. It's just a co-pilot for you right now. But if you don't think about it as a co-pilot, and if you think, let's say that you are an illustrator, and you just draw for your life and in your work, and maybe you see the AI designing and drawing better, creating better illustrations that you can, and obviously you will think, okay, this is a really big threat to me, because that's my craft, you know. But as soon as you explain them, and I always try to explain, um, I mean, I don't like to give them like, okay, this is better than you do, you know, of course. But if I explain to you as an illustrator, and I say, okay, give me 10 of your best illustration in the same style, like give me your current best style. And with that, we can just train a custom image model, and then on top of that, create variations for your style. It's going to be your own style, and you're going to still need to touch them a little bit to create to do post production on them, and you will still need to think about what you need to create. So to me, it's an extension. It's like having a third hand. But you need to explain people. Mostly, it happens with photographers, with videographers, and illustrators. To me, that I was a generalist. To me, it came like really natural thing to adopt AI. So generalists, of course, they are going to adopt the technology right away. But if you are like a really good at one thing, and it's your craft, maybe that's one blocker. So just explain to people how to use it, how to benefit from the technology. That's the solution. And in agency terms, um, there is also a lack of knowledge of the possibilities of AI today. So one thing that I do is to advise agencies and design studios from all over Latin America and US as well on how to adopt AI. And when I say, like, when I just state 10 use cases, they are like, okay, whoa, we didn't know that we could do that with AI. So there is still, besides the fact that everyone is using, or most of the United States, for example, has a 75% ratio of AI use, but they use it on mostly day-to-day tasks and not in a deep way, like in a commercial level way, or they don't think about it as a powerful tool.
For me, the thing about the illustrators, as you said, is amazing. The photographers, like basically the sky is the limit for creatives now. But in an industry where technical barriers are practically vanishing, especially again for our market, what does it mean to be creative today for you?
Is the best time for the industry, because the technical barrier, and there is also a resource barrier that we most of the times don't talk about. But let's say that you're a small agency, and let's say that you don't have the resources to do a really cool photo shoot and spend 15K, 20K on a really amazing photo shoot and hire models, people that do hair, makeup, etc. Um, you just don't have that possibility, and it's not maybe a technical barrier, because maybe you have some technical skilled people that can do the photo shoot, but you don't have the resources to do it, and your customer doesn't want to pay for those resources. So what you ended up with is a project that maybe is lacking something. And right now, without that barrier, the technical and the resource barrier, you can actually do it. You can create whatever type of photo shoot you want, whatever 3D asset you need to create the most amazing branding, the most amazing product without that many resources. So to me, this, and I have a talk that is called Creativity Cube, because to me, we are living on the exponential creativity era. And to me, it was again when I started using this technology, I felt more creative than ever. And then we have also data to back up this statement. 69% of the designers are thinking that AI is helping them to be more creative. So if you have an idea, and another thing that it comes with adoption as well. And I had a lot of students, but in the last year, some of them were really afraid of AI. They were saying like, yeah, it's going to take my job and I don't know what to do. And I asked them, how many times did you think about how great it could be to just grab your idea and put that on a screen? Because the technical barrier is what were difficult with them, because they were students, they were juniors, they were starting to know about the software, the technical aspects of design. But they had really cool ideas, so they were creative people, but they weren't enabled to fulfill that idea into something materialized just because of the technical barrier. So to me, right now, ideas are more valued than ever.
If, like you were saying, creativity and being creative is more enabled now, right? What skills do you think will actually matter going forward?
Oh, that's a great question. And that's something that we discuss every day, and as an educator as well. Um, to me, it's going to be like mastering taste. You know that it's kind of hard to express, but and I may I have some I have made may I have some examples as well on this. I'm not the best at taking courses or studying because I'm like on the opposite edge. I always been an educator since I was very young. But at some point in my life, I went to a photography course that it was like 10 classes. And at the very first one, our professor, who was really great, showed us 10 black and white photos. And I saw some difference. I was already studying design, so I detected some difference between the 10 photos. But I thought that it was from 2 or 3 photographers. And then he told us, yeah, there is 6 different photographers on that batch of 10 images. Can you say which image belongs to which photographer? And we were like, yeah, no, that is impossible to us right now, because at very first sight they were super similar. But if I kept that batch of 10 photos. I dropped that course, sorry, to my professor. But a few years later, I found out the folder of those 10 images, and I could really easily say, I don't know the names of the photographer, but I can just regroup the images in 6 different groups. Because right now I have more knowledge about design fundamentals. I have more knowledge about art direction. I have more knowledge about lighting composition. So those design fundamentals are really, really important today. Because if AI can create 100 images in 10 minutes, but those 100 images are not going to be great. You need to know, you need to have the knowledge, the visual knowledge to detect the best ones, to be able to curate that batch of images. And it will happen the same with each design category. If it's video, you need to know about the video production fundamentals. You need to know about type of shots. You need to know about acting. You need to know about scripts, about storyboards, about actions in movies and series, and so on. And in product design as well, you need to, if I show you 100 different layouts, but you don't know typography fundamentals, spacing fundamentals, you don't know how to manage a grid system, you don't know how is the perception of a product. So every fundamental that we are like constantly teaching in the university, I guess that will be today really, really valuable. Because again, it's not about creating the image itself. That is going to be the AI shops. And in the future, as we see in the trends, it's going to be even easier than it is today. So we can talk about that in just a bit. But I guess that design fundamentals overall.
100%. I completely agree. And interesting because, in my opinion, there's a much bigger advancement in the way that we can create assets on like art direction, images, videos that we can do on specifically not maybe UX but more UI.
Yeah.
There's a lack of products that create really good visuals in terms of UI, but I have my position on that for sure. But I really want to go into product design a little bit. And
Yeah.
what I mean, we hear the term vibe coding a lot. You guys use it, we use it. Can you break it down for us? What is it? What do you think it's going to completely change how we build or create things from now on?
Great. So there is like 5 questions in that one. So I will try to
Yes, we
start
can break it down. Let's go for
don't worry.
what is vibe coding? What is vibe coding for
So
you?
live coding is, and to me, things are moving like really fast, you know. And if I think of vibe coding, to me it was like the year before, but it was actually the term was coined this year on February by Andrej Karpathy, which was one of the founders of OpenAI, and then he moved to Tesla to be the AI to the director of AI in Tesla, which is massive. Really great guy, and just look at his social media if you want. He shares a lot of information, really technical information. So at one point he was using AI to code something, and he felt like he entered this flow when the code wasn't that important anymore. So the only thing that was important to him was like the intent and what the output was and what he needed as output. So he was like, okay, I call this like vibe coding because I'm vibing. I'm just trying to talk to the AI, say what I need, what I want, and the AI manage the code. So I don't need to go line by line on the code, trying to debug it, trying to make it better. So that was February 2025, which is crazy too. So from that point to now, vibe coding has been like more bigger, and it's getting into different aspects of design. So right now we see by designing, by marketing, by branding, by whatever, by X, I will dare to say. So to me, it's just that flow state when you work with AI and you just lose again the technical barriers, and you're not worried about uh, what's happening behind. You just worried about what you need, what is your need, what is the output that you want, and how to talk with AI. So at some point, he also said that English is the new coding language, and he's right. So everything,
He
if
is.
you he is totally. And if we think about again the patterns and the trends about what is happening, everything is going to natural conversation. So we all know ChatGPT, right? Or any LLM by that means. So Gemini, Claude, Cursor, B0, Lovable. I can still going on naming tools that you just talk to them and they do something. So what is happening right now that is this is infusing the creative industry in every aspect. And me personally, I try to infuse this vibe thing into whatever I can. So if I can just replace a blocker with some vibe, anything, vibe coding, by designing, I will obviously do it because it's better. It's more fun than having trouble with something. So I have been automating tools. I have been vibe coding creative tools as well. So to me, it's just something that is going to be the regular thing in the future. So we are not going to design anymore, pressing buttons and selecting tools or actions inside any creative tool. Everything is moving forward, natural conversation. So in the near future, we are going to just by designing with anything. You are going to open Figma. You are going to say, hey, Figma, I want to design a product, a mobile app to do whatever, and it's going to get there. And I can now go back to your statement about that today there is no AI tool that can create layouts properly, and that is an absolute truth. And I want that to be a lie. I want AI to create layouts. I want it to be like really great at product design because I want to vibe design the hell out of a lot of products because I have tons of ideas. But the thing is, time and cost, right? So at first, and if we go back a few years ago, the images with AI were like super cheap and really fast, but they didn't have the quality or the same or better quality that most of the images that we had back then. Talking about 3D illustration, photography, again, any category. But if you see images today, we are on the wave 3. We already surpassed the wave 2 that is quality. So right now we can create AI images that have photo shoot quality, like really professional photography quality, professional 3D quality, so on. And then we are on the wave 3, which is transformation. So AI images are on every aspect of our lives. They have this percentage of like 75% of the images that you see on the internet are made with AI or retouched by AI, which is crazy,
Insane.
insane. And video is the same. Video right now is on wave 1, ending the wave 1. So it's cheaper and faster than a traditional video production. It doesn't have the quality, so we all know that the AI videos are not quite there yet. They are getting really good at some point. So maybe this year we are going to start wave 2 of quality, and then the next year we are going to see the transformation. So AI videos are going to be everywhere. And maybe in this case, even is happening today right now because we have seen lots of YouTube channels social media channels everywhere filled with AI videos. Even YouTube has demonetized those videos because they were like low effort channels. So maybe it's a mix with video. We have a mix of wave 2 and wave 3. And with layouts and product design, it's going to be the same, but we didn't even start it because the technology is different. So what is happened or what has happened is that these coding tools, these vibe coding tools like Lovable and V0, just removed the design stage and went straight from idea to code. So to me, and we know this, and it's not just for to me, like this is true. We can translate any design into code right now. So everything can be code. Even the most complex of the images can be translated into vectorized coding. So what is happening is that we just remove one stage of the process. And whenever I bytecode anything, first I bytecode it in like MVP terms without thinking about design, right? So just what needs to be done. So and I have something to show you today because yesterday I was thinking, okay, I want to bytecode something just to explain to the people seeing this podcast what is and what can be done with bytecoding. So it was my afternoon coffee vibe coding, and I created a creative app just for you to see. So this is
That's
brand new.
amazing.
Has seen this, and then I just start. The process was like, okay, I need this. Spoiler alert. So a friend of mine had the idea. He's a product designer. He's really great, and he has 3 monitors. So in one monitor, he always put he's a really art fan. So one monitor always has images. And what he told me though was that, hey, it could be really great to have something that has images in motion graphics, like animated images in my monitor, but I cannot find the right tool. And I need that to be like randomly changing every, like, I don't know, 10 seconds, for example. So I say, okay, maybe one day we can just develop that. And I told him we should bytecode that for sure. So I started yesterday on Figma Make in this case, and I stayed to Figma Make. Okay, I need a creative tool. First I designed a really quick layout, like super easy and simple layout. And then I just moved to Figma Make and I started doing questions and just naturally talking again, vibe coding. And after I think it was like 60 versions of a few hours of and 2 coffees, I got the not the final version, but the 1.0 version to showcase you. We can share the link after this call so people can actually test it, use it, give me feedback. Of course, this is again
Amazing.
just the first version of it. Yeah. So tell me if you see it.
We see it.
Perfect. So I didn't think about anything about branding, naming, even the layout. I know the contrast is not the best. The product designers seeing this podcast are going to say, yeah, you cannot read that properly. I know. I'm a typography professor, kids, so just bear with me on this one. So what is happening here is that you can see there is an animation with some images. And of course, they are changing it because I have an auto randomizer, like the idea from my friend Luis. So he's going to be pleased when he sees this because he even saw this by now. You can put a few more images here, up to 12. You can change the speed of the animation. You can change the spacing of the images. And of course, since this was like a screensaver, you can go full screen and just leave it there. And of course, you can change the images. These are the images that we use for my studio, for Neofort, but you can easily change. You can go here to import images. I will go just to visual explorations and try to go, let's do this. So portraits of people. So you open that and boom, you got your images on auto repeat, auto randomizer with I think it's 20 different animations every 15 seconds, every 10 seconds. You can even change the delay on the animation rotation. So to me, create this in 2 hours and a half and 2 coffees, it's insane. But it doesn't end there, because that was the idea that my friend had. But in the conversation, at some point, I told him, yeah, I was thinking of doing something similar to present branding design projects to my customers. Because you do want some motion graphics whenever you present, right? So
For
then
sure.
if you put the images that you craft for your or the whole branding here, it could be a really good idea to have some motion. And again, you can control everything. You can decrease the image size to create different type of effects. And even if you would like corner radius, you can change it to circles. You can blur the images. I don't even know why, but I just included a blur there because maybe you can do this, right? So you go blur, not blur, and it creates a different effect. So it's like having, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to love Lego because of the possibilities of Lego. You could create whatever. So this is the same to me. I feel like a kid again, just having ideas, created them. So yeah, and if you don't like the randomizer, you can just turn that off and you are stuck with a loop animation forever.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. Can you give us, mainly the audience that is seeing this, some tips for maybe prompting? You have so much
Sure.
experience in that.
Yeah, I have the best and the worst tip to prompt, and it's don't prompt. And I can
Interesting. Can you explain?
yeah. Everyone puts the same face, like what? Because we always say like prompt engineering is highly important, right? And that is truth, of course. You need to explain to LLMs or to any AI that you are using. You need to explain properly what you want. And every AI has a different way of prompting. If you go to Midjourney or if you go to Korea to use some image models, video models, right now there is also the trend of prompting with a JSON structure. I guess that you have seen that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
the thing is that when I say don't prompt, what I mean is uh, help help you yourself prompting with an LLM. What I have is a custom ChatGPT, what I call prompter, which is like my patient zero, So
Mhm.
it's the system instructions are having the best practice on prompt engineering. So I can just say to the custom GPT in plain English, like I need um, 10 prompts to create an ad for, I don't know, a SaaS that do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. I give context in plain English, and the custom GPT, the prompter, manage to create those prompts for me. So I don't prompt that much. I try to, again, I'm lazy. I don't like to write 2 hours. And when we first started to work with AI 2 years, 4 years ago, and 2 years ago when we started with GPT mostly, we were crafting these highly complex prompts. So we were spending a lot of times, lots of hours prompting. I learned a lot back then. So right now I can detect a good prompt of a bad prompt, of course. But for people who doesn't know how to prompt and just are starting, I will encourage them to search, because like my prompter, there is tons of GPTs to help you prompt. And even they are like fine-tuned to each tool. So if you say, I need prompts for Midjourney, okay, just go find a Midjourney prompter inside the GPT store. Or if whenever you learn how to use LLMs, how to craft either Gemini Gems or custom ChatGPTs, create your own, because you are going to feel again great having you this little helper that help you prompt anything. So actually, the first step to create this Anima tool was to go to my prompter and say, hey, I put the screenshot of the simple layout that I had that didn't have the corner radius, the image blur, didn't have image opacity, for example, didn't have a lot of things that are in the tool right now. So I put the screenshot and I say to my prompter, I need a system prompt for Figma Make in order to bytecode this app that it will do this and that. And even the prompter say to me, why don't you add some more features? And I ask, okay, but what type of features? And it says, what about corner radius on the photos? And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then what about image opacity? And I was like, oh, I was forgetting about this. So in that way you don't work alone anymore. You work like with these little AI helpers. So first step prompter, second step Figma make, and then by coding 2 hours and a half, like I said.
It seems like you're replacing AI rather than AI replacing you.
Exactly. That's
That's
the trick.
that's the trick, right? I think, Ari, to close, and it really will resonate with what we just said. My last question to you would be, what do you think is something that AI could never replicate or replace about you?
I mean, at some point, I think that it will replace everything, right? But since right now it's what we call ANI, artificial narrow intelligence, so it cannot go out from the data that it's trained on, so it's not creative. I will again, to me, creativity right now is and ideas are the most important thing, because whatever is technical is going to be done by AI for sure. Even like we said, we don't have layouts right now, but it's coming. It's going to, and right now we can infuse LLMs into whatever tool, to Figma, for example. So that layout barrier is not going to be a thing anymore in the near future. Um, I'm also infusing cursor to Blender, for example. So I don't
Yeah.
I have zero knowledge about Blender. I'm not a 3D designer, but I always wanted to be one. I love 3D design. So what I did was to connect through the autocode.
MCP.
Exactly. So I connected Blender to Cursor. So I say with natural language, I say, hey, I need to create this and that, and it's that then the Cursor IDE it just creates talking with Blender. So to me, again, ideas and creativity is something that AI don't have right now, and the human input is again is highly important. People think that they can grab ideas from LLMs, and that is not true. uh, the LLMs are not going to give you good ideas. Even they ask without context. So you need to give context. You need to give ideas. You need to give those type of human inputs, and then you can create amazing things with AI. But the best things that I have seen that were created with AI, ads, movies, series title, teasers, trailers, apps like we saw just now, or products, everything that was created, the technical aspect doesn't matter. The idea is what is great, or what makes that things great. So again, creativity is going to be what we are going to be talking about for the next 5 years. So ideas are right now the hot tech.
For sure. I love this, and I couldn't agree more. Ari, thank you so much for this. It was amazing chatting with you as always. It was super insightful to see like your process, you showing us this product that you make in 2 hours and two coffees.
No, it was super great, and thank you for having me again. I'm always eager to come back. We are going to send the link to the audience so they can just destroy my product and give me feedback. And I just kidding, but again, just I hope that this encourage people to create things. And creativity is not diluted, like we discussed this a lot of times. It's just enhanced by this technology. So if you saw this and then you maybe say, oh, I got a similar idea, I can vibe code it and I didn't know about it. So you can just create anything now. So yeah, thanks for having me, and I hope to see you again soon.